Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, looked into the mirror, and wondered who the person looking back at you truly is? We go to work, we love, we struggle, and we hope. But have you ever felt an invisible hand pulling the strings behind every decision you make? Are the choices you are most proud of or your most intense emotions truly yours? Or are they just pre programmed reflections from some dark corner deep within your subconscious? The bitter truth is, most of us aren't living the way we think we are. We are simply reacting to the world like a wound up machine, drifting along a script we didn't even know we wrote. Carl Jung, the greatest explorer of the soul's darkest caverns, left a chilling warning that we must all take to heart. He said that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Take a moment to feel the weight of that. The recurring failures in love, the nameless pains in your career, all of it might not be bad luck or divine will. It is the script you wrote for yourself in your own darkness, only to naively blame it on destiny. Centuries ago, Nostradamus gazed into still waters to predict the fall of empires and devastating wars. But there is a secret history often misses. Those prophecies weren't just about disasters in the outside world, they were reflections of the battles smoldering within every human soul. Today's modern world, with all its noise, chaos, and division, is just a giant mirror reflecting the brokenness inside each of us. We live in an era where personal shadows are merging, creating a collective storm more destructive than any weapon ever forged. But today, we will not stop at fear. I invite you to join a true spiritual dissection, a journey through the fog of the ego. We will use Albert Einstein's sharp insights to understand the flow of mental energy and borrow the awakened eyes of Gurdjieff to break the chains of the mindless machine. Albert Einstein once shook the world with a simple equation that carries the weight of the entire universe. E equals mc $2. But he wasn't just talking about stars or distant atoms. He was talking about the very nature of the reality you touch every day. Everything around us is energy, pure joy, heartbreaking pain, or that burning rage you tried to suppress this morning. It's all energy. And if energy is never lost, only transformed, where do you think those negative emotions go when you ignore them? They don't vanish into thin air, they compress. They become the dark matter of your mind. They accumulate mass, becoming an invisible, heavy anchor you drag along every day. We think we've moved on, but in reality, we are just harboring a dense block of explosives waiting to erupt. Imagine standing on a beautiful, sun-drenched beach. Everyone around you is laughing and happy. You want to be like them. You want to look perfect in the eyes of others. So you take all your ugly emotions, your insecurities, your envy, your shameful secrets, and stuff them into a giant ball. You use all your strength to shove that ball deep under the water so no one can see it. You smile at people passing by, looking perfectly calm, but beneath the surface, every muscle in your body is screaming with exhaustion. You are spending almost your entire life force just to keep that ball out of sight. This is the price of suppression. And here is the scariest part. The deeper you push, the greater the pressure. Eventually, your hands will give out. That ball will rocket to the surface with a terrifying force you cannot control. It will strike you in the face or hurt those you love most. That is the moment the shadow rises. Now let's look inside your skull to see what's actually happening. There is a war that has lasted millions of years inside our brains. On one side is the limbic system, the most ancient and wild part of the brain. This is the seat of primal instincts, raw fears, and deepest hidden desires. It doesn't care about social rules or politeness, it just wants to be heard and to survive. On the other side is the prefrontal cortex, the rational and modern CEO. This part tells you to behave, to stay in line, and to not do anything foolish. When you reject your shadow, you are commanding your ancient brain to be silent. But the limbic system is like a cornered beast. It will never surrender. It will find a detour, leaking out as unexplained anxiety, mood swings, or cruel words you'll regret the moment they leave your lips. We are not broken or flawed. We are just disconnected. We've built a brilliant civilization on the foundation of an ancient jungle, but we've forgotten how to talk to the tiger within. Integrating the shadow isn't about killing the tiger. It's about learning to tame it and walking beside it with pride. Imagine you're driving on a familiar road and suddenly realize you've gone 5 miles without remembering a single thing about them. Where were you during those 5 miles? The mystic philosopher Gurdjieff said that the truth is we spend most of our lives in this sleepwalking state. He called humans biological machines that are asleep. We don't have a single consistent self. Instead, we are a collection of thousands of tiny I's fighting for control every second. The I that promises to start a diet in the morning is not the same I raiding the fridge at midnight. We are automatic reaction machines with buttons that others can easily push. When someone insults you, the angry machine activates. When someone praises you, the ego machine starts up. We live in a maze of habits and reflexes, yet we always hallucinate that we are masters of our fate. The greatest human tragedy isn't failure, it's the absence of a real presence in one's own body. So, what happens when these sleeping machines meet? That's when the mechanism of projection kicks in. Think of someone in your life you absolutely despise: an arrogant colleague, a greedy friend, or even a stranger whose appearance just irritates you. Why do they have such a powerful impact on your emotions? Carl Jung explained that our minds are like a giant movie theater where we are the director, the actor, and the audience. The personality traits you've rejected, the parts you find ugly or unacceptable, don't disappear. They are projected onto the screen of the people around you. What we hate in others is exactly what we refuse to admit in ourselves. If you hate someone's arrogance, you might be suppressing your own desire for recognition. If you judge someone's laziness, you might not be allowing yourself to rest. We are wearing tinted glasses and blaming the world for being dark. Projection is how we protect ourselves from the painful truth that the demon we are hunting out there is actually tucked away in our own pocket. Uh, but this is where the magic happens. When you realize that everyone you meet, especially those who irritate you most, is actually a mirror reflecting the broken pieces of your soul, the world stops being a place full of enemies. It becomes a treasure map. Every time you feel triggered, instead of criticizing others, take a step back and ask, what part of me is seeing itself over there? True compassion doesn't start by pitying others. It starts by recognizing your own weakness in them. When you stop projecting your darkness onto the world, you begin to reclaim your energy. Your enemies suddenly become your greatest teachers, helping you find lost fragments and heal old wounds. You are no longer a machine controlled by unconscious hate. You begin to wake up and realize we are all performing a play together, where shadow and light take turns leading us back to our original wholeness. Let's travel back in time to visit the laboratories of the ancient alchemists. In our minds, they often appear as dreamers trying to turn lead into gold. But the truth goes much deeper. Alchemy was actually an early form of psychology, the science of transforming the soul. And the first, most important, and most terrifying step is nigredo, the blackening. It is the state where everything falls apart, where your false ego is burned away, and you must face the stinking ashes of your true self. Many of us flee when we reach this threshold because it is too painful. But remember, without decay in the soil, a seed can never sprout. You cannot clean a room if you don't have the courage to look at the rotting trash in the dark corner. Nigredo is not a punishment, it is a purification. It is the moment you accept that you are not perfect, so that from that very brokenness, a new, stronger, and more authentic human being can begin to take shape. Now, I want to share a secret that Carl Jung called the golden shadow. Did you know that the shadow doesn't just contain bad things? It is actually a massive warehouse containing all the talents, creativity, and strength you accidentally threw away along the road of life. As a child, maybe you were passionate and spoke your mind, but society said that was rebellious or bad. So you buried that assertiveness deep in the shadow to earn the love of others. The result? You became an adult who always compromises, always fears, and has lost their own voice. But that assertiveness never disappeared. It's still there, waiting for you to reclaim it. When you integrate this shadow, you don't become a hateful person. You become a person with boundaries, someone who protects what they believe in. That crazy creativity you once thought was unrealistic is now the unique inspiration that helps you shine. Don't just look for light on the outside, because the most brilliant treasures are often hidden in the places you are most afraid to look. Let me tell you a story of a miraculous transformation. There was a man who always felt insecure because he harbored a terrifying rage inside. He was afraid of himself, afraid that his aggression would destroy everything. He tried to be a nice guy, but inside he was full of resentment, until one day he understood that his aggression was actually a distorted life force. He began to dialogue with it. Instead of letting rage explode aimlessly, he used that very power to stand up for the vulnerable being bullied at work. Yesterday's blind aggression transformed into today's courage for justice. This is the essence of shadow integration. A person incapable of aggression is not virtuous. They are simply weak. Only when you carry the sword of the shadow and know how to keep it in its sheath are you truly a person of integrity. You don't need to be a flawless saint. You just need to be a whole human being, using your flaws to make the world a better place. Look out your window, or even simpler, look at your phone screen right now. Do you see the rage burning there? Carl Jung once warned that the greatest danger to humanity is not natural disasters, but the human mind itself. When we stand alone, we can be kind individuals, but when we merge into a crowd, something ancient and brutal suddenly awakens. That is the collective shadow. Look at the social media mobs, where thousands are ready to destroy a stranger's life over a single disagreeable sentence. Under the ghost of anonymity, our shadows run wild without fear of judgment. We project our hate, frustration, and helplessness onto groups, ethnicities, or differing opinions. War doesn't start on the battlefield. It starts in hateful comments, in a lack of empathy, and in our refusal to take responsibility for our own darkness. When a society loses its ability to self-reflect, it begins to seek out scapegoats to blame for all its pain, and that is when disaster knocks on every door. Albert Einstein once regretted that his discoveries indirectly led to the atomic bomb. He realized that humanity possessed the power of gods, but still kept the hearts of primitives. His energy equation didn't just release the power of the atom. It was a painful metaphor for the atomic bomb sitting in the human soul. When a society accumulates too much suppression, lies, and denial, that energy doesn't go away. It builds to a breaking point and explodes. The atomic bomb is just the physical manifestation of hate that has reached its peak in the consciousness of millions. Einstein proved that a small mass can create massive energy, and a little bit of malice, multiplied by millions of unconscious egos, creates a black hole that can swallow a continent. We are racing to master technology, but forgetting to master ourselves. If we don't learn to transform the shadow energy within, then all scientific achievements will just be tools for us to destroy each other faster. To truly understand the horror of the collective shadow, look back at one of history's darkest chapters, Nazi Germany. How could a nation of great philosophers and artists fall into the madness of genocide? The answer lies in the lack of personal responsibility for the shadow. The soldiers, the neighbors, the ordinary citizens, they weren't born demons. They were just people who chose to close their eyes to their own darkness and hand it over to an extremist ideology. They let the personal shadow become the bridge to the collective shadow. When you say, "I was just following orders," or "it's not my business," you are officially handing the keys to your soul over to evil. What is the most expensive lesson here? It's that the silence and denial of good people is the most fertile ground for evil to grow. We cannot stop a tyrant if we cannot stop the tyranny in our own hearts. Responsibility for the world begins with responsibility for the shadow you carry every day. Don't let history repeat itself just because we were too lazy to wake up. Now, let's put aside the distant theories and step into the laboratory of your own life. This journey is not for the faint of heart, because it begins with the ultimate weapon, radical honesty. Ask yourself in absolute silence, what is the part of myself I'm most afraid for others to discover? That is the key. Shadow work isn't about hunting for flaws to punish yourself. It's about looking directly at your deepest desires, fears, and even your hidden selfishness without judgment. When you dare to name your demon, it loses half its power over you. And don't forget to listen to the encrypted messages sent every night, your dreams. The unconscious doesn't speak the language of logic. It speaks in symbols. The figure chasing you in a nightmare is the abandoned part of your personality screaming to come home. Write them down. Dialogue with them. Every dream is a telegram from the shadow guiding you through the maze of the ego to find yourself. The truth might hurt at first, but it is the pain of a surgery to remove the tumors that have been eating at your soul for far too long. Next, let's practice an exercise Gurdjieff called self-remembering. Right now, as you hear my voice, try to separate yourself from the stream of your thoughts. Feel the weight of your body in your chair, the air entering your nostrils, and the beat of your heart in your chest. Are you truly here, or is your mind wandering in the past or worrying about the future? Self-remembering is the effort to wake up while you are already awake. It's the moment you realize, I am not the emotions rising up. I am not the thoughts dancing around. I am the one observing all of them. When you practice this presence long enough, you'll notice the automatic reactions of the machine begin to slow down. You no longer immediately get angry when criticized. You no longer immediately panic in the face of difficulty. You have a pause, a small space between stimulus and response. In that space, true freedom sprouts. You begin to take back the steering wheel of your life from the hands of unconscious programming. Don't let life pass by like a sleepwalking dream. Choose to be awake in every breath. Finally, I want you to let go of a massive burden society has placed on your shoulders, the obsession with perfection. We live in a culture that worships glossy, flawless images on social media, but those are just shiny lies. Perfection is an ego trap. It makes you feel like you're never good enough, like you're a mistake of nature. Carl Jung taught us that the goal of life is not to be a flawless saint, but to be a whole human being. Wholeness means accepting both light and shadow, both nobility and baseness, both joy and pain. A whole person is like a painting with a full palette. It needs dark areas to honor the bright ones. When you accept your flaws, you no longer have to force yourself to play a role that isn't you. You become authentic, strong, and full of life. Wholeness brings a peace that perfection can never give. Love your scars, because they are the proof of your growth and courage on the journey to becoming yourself. This journey isn't about scrubbing yourself into a flawless blank sheet of paper. It's a call to return, to gather every fragment, every pain, and even the ugliest parts you once wanted to throw away. When you light a candle in a pitch black room, the darkness isn't destroyed. It just recedes and becomes part of the space, making room for the presence of awareness. Be the light that understands its own darkness. Because only when you know you have the capacity to cause harm can you truly appreciate the power of healing. Only when you face the potential for malice within is your kindness no longer a weak reflex, but a powerful choice. Stop running from your shadow, invite it to sit down, listen to its breath, and make it the guide for your growth. That is the most precious legacy you can leave the world. A human being who lives wholly, authentically, and no longer trembles before the mirror. You've just performed a courageous surgery of the soul with us. This is awakened wisdom, the home for those hungry for truth in a world full of shiny lies. We believe that ancient wisdom from thousands of years ago still holds the golden key to unlocking the paradoxes of the modern mind. We aren't here to change you. We are here to wake up the great human being who has been sleeping inside